Game 1 in the books, that was at home. Game 2 last week, a win. If you stayed up late, you could probably see it. Now they come to Game 3. Let's kind of look backwards. Game 1, maybe not the most impressive thing that people would have ever seen in Lynchburg. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen they're not the only team out there that I'm seeing early in the season. Maybe is not looking as impressive as we thought. Yeah, I think the first game they played at middle tier FCS school. It looked like they were ironing out the kinks. There definitely was some mistakes on offense, even more mistakes on defense, and I think it carried into week 2. Definitely at the beginning of the game. I definitely liked how after the beginning of the second quarter they were down 17-3. I thought things kind of changed, and hopefully it continues to go in that direction.
And I like road wins because it's never easy to go from coast to coast and pick up a W, and they did that in New Mexico.
Yeah, it's a conference opponent, team that played them for the conference championship last year. Of course, New Mexico State has a totally new coaching staff, lost their quarterback, among other good players. But still, you're literally going, 2-3 time zones over,
yep.
And you're going to play a team that, is a conference opponent. And they, early in the season, they're pretty healthy, and they went out and they were definitely inspired to play the game and came out really fast. And Liberty was able to come back and win it.
I feel like one of the teams that knows most that New Mexico State lost their quarterback is Virginia Tech because they saw that up close and personal. And that just shows that Conference USA kids can ball. I mean, this is not the ragtag of football.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you had a lot of guys that even from Liberty that now play at Power 5
yep.
level. You have Bolden who's playing safety for Colorado. You have Toby Singleton who's playing for Oregon State. You have C.J. Daniels who plays for LSU. I think he had 4 catches in the opening game against USC. So, I mean, there's a lot of guys on Liberty's roster that are on Power 5 rosters. And obviously, and you go 13-0 in Conference USA, you have a chance, like Liberty did last year, to make college football playoff this year.
Are you a believer in a team needs to worry more about themselves than they need to worry about the opponent for that week?
Oh, for sure. Your biggest opponent's yourself, especially when you're playing maybe teams that are not as talented, because then you end up playing down to their level. So if your
right.
opponent's yourself, then you're comparing yourself to yourself, and then you're like, this is not our standard. Because then if you're looking at your opponent, sometimes maybe you'll play down to their level.
What is maybe 1 or 2 things that you would put your finger on that you would say Liberty needs to do better than they've done so far?
So the opening pregame show before the game, when me and Nick were chatting, and actually I did a podcast he does with Pat Kelly.
Yep.
He has double coverage. I said I think they're going to struggle a little bit in the back end on defense because they lost guys like Singleton to Oregon State and Bolden to Colorado. They lost someone else too. Maybe one kid graduated. I just thought that they had some new faces. I did not know if they quite got as talented as they could have out of the portal. Guys that can play a little bit, the kid from Coastal Carolina that plays safety. But I thought they had some question marks back there. And I think in the first 2 games, if I had to identify something specifically on defense, it's the defensive backfield. They've just been out of position. They had trouble guarding the one kid for Campbell in the opening game. They gave up a 70-yard touchdown on a screen pass in this last game. So I think that was a pretty good identifying point of the Liberty team that I thought would maybe have some issues. And the other one was actually the offensive line. I was wondering if some of the new faces are going to have trouble gelling. And, there's been a few problems here and there with them, but I'd actually probably say the receivers has been maybe more of the question mark so far. I just think they're having trouble, what's the word I'm looking for? There's a little lack of
chemistry.
Yeah, there you go. It's late, so I can't think of chemistry and trust between them. And Saul Salter getting frustrated against New Mexico. And there definitely seems as if there's a little bit there. They just don't know each other well enough yet.
You're a football connoisseur. Do you know anything about UTEP?
I don't know if I'm a connoisseur.
You're a connoisseur.
UTEP opening week played Nebraska. Nebraska has a really good defense. So UTEP didn't do a whole lot offensively. They obviously struggled defensively last year. They won last week. I'm not sure who they played, and I'm not sure actually how the game went. They were a pretty average team last year, to say the least. But you have to take your opponent seriously. You got to come out there and play your game. They're a significant favorite in this game. It's a conference game. It's early in the season. They've obviously not looked probably as good as we thought the first two games. Just come out there, play your game, and play the standard, the Liberty standard. So,
the games I think that are toughest to win?
What?
The ones you're supposed to win.
Yeah. I agree.
I mean, Notre Dame was supposed to beat Northern Illinois.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Yeah.
And that didn't work out for them.
That turned into a nightmare.
So yeah.
Northern Illinois, by the way, is the only Group of 5 school that's rated now. So,
wow.
How that long that lasts.
Well, real quick too, I was going to say for fans. I mean, Chadwell's not going to do it obviously, but fans need. If you're keeping your eye, you got to be the best Group of 5 in the rankings to get into the playoff. Correct?
Oh yeah. In Liberty's case, I think they have to finish undefeated.
Right.
Because there's other really good Group of 5. You had Boise State almost beat, an Oregon fan. Well, people there who listen to me don't know that, but I am an Oregon fan, and Boise State almost beat them at Oregon. You have Memphis playing Florida State this week. South Florida was down by like 5 points to Alabama in the fourth quarter. It did get busted open a bit, but there's other. Tulane lost by 7 points to Kansas State, who might possibly win the Big 12. So there's some other Group of 5 teams that are just playing better schedules. So Liberty has finished 13-0.
Well, it's it is, but it's not Liberty's fault that the schedule is what the schedule is.
Yeah, it's got to be spoiling it. And hopefully in the future they schedule some maybe better games.